Hello friends, welcome to my channel Rinku HandCrafts. Today we are going to see how to make this heart granny square. The pattern is really beautiful and you can use these granny squares in many different projects. Like you can make a pouch out of it, or you can make big bag out of these heart granny squares. So there are so many different projects which you can make. So shall we start? Now first take a red color yarn and make a slip stitch here to the hook. Here like this, and then we are going to make 4 chains here. And then we are going to do slip stitch in this first chain to create one center. Now you can go with magic circle also. So here in this center we are going to work our next stitches. Now after this we are going to start round 1. Now for that, chain 3, and now in this center here we are going to make 12 double crochet stitches. So for double crochet yarn over, insert your hook in the center, pull the yarn. You have 3 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops. I'll show you again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the circle, pull the yarn from first 2 loops, and then pull the yarn through next 2 loops. Now here I have 2 double crochet stitches, and this chain 3, this I am going to consider as 1 double crochet stitch. So total at the end of round 1 I should have 13 double crochet stitches including this chain pattern. So complete your round 1 and then meet me back at the end here. Now here I have completed my 12 double crochet stitches, and this chain pattern, this we have as 1 double crochet stitch. So total we have 13 double crochet stitches in round 1. Now to complete round 1 we are going to make a slip stitch on this in this top chain here, taking both loops. So here make a slip stitch like this, and then here I am going to mark this stitch with stitch marker. If you want, you can just skip this part here. And now we are going to start our round 2. Now for round 2 we are not going to make any chains, and we are going to skip 2 loops here. So this first loop where we did slip stitch, we are going to skip that, and then the loop next to it here, this loop, this we are going to skip, and in this next loop we are going to make 7 treble crochet stitches. Now for treble crochet stitch, yarn over 2 times, insert your hook in this loop. So second loop from the start. So first loop here we skip this, and then we skip this loop, and then in this next loop here we are going to make 7 treble crochet stitches. So now here yarn over, then pull the yarn. Now you have 4 loops on the hook. Now pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, and then pull the yarn from last 2 loops here. So our first treble crochet stitch is done. Now again in this same loop I am going to make my next treble crochet stitch. Now for that, yarn over 2 times, insert your hook in the loop, pull the yarn. You have 4 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, and then pull the yarn from last 2 loops. So we pull the yarn through these loops 3 times. So that's how I remember it as treble crochet stitch. Now again I'll make my next treble crochet stitch here, and like this make total 7 treble crochet stitches in the same loop. And once you are done with that, then I'll show you what to do next. Now here my 7 treble crochet stitches are done. Here this is how you can count it: 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and here we have that slip stitch. Now after this there is going to be a long sequence till half part of the circle, so you can just note it down. Now after this, in this next loop we are going to make 1 double crochet stitch. Then in this next one we are going to make 2 double crochet stitches. Then again in this next one 2 double crochet stitch. Then again in this next one 2 double crochet stitch. So we are making 2 double crochet stitch in the same loop. So in 3 loops we made 2 double crochet stitches here. Then here I'm going to make one knot. So for that I'm just going to make this loop a little bit loose, and then in this loop here, this first front loop, here I'm going to insert the hook and then pull the yarn and make a slip stitch here, so that I'll get a knot here like this. And then I'm going to make 2 double crochet stitches in the same loop, and then we are just going to do the sequence in reverse order. So I'll just show you. So now here after this knot here we did 2 double crochet stitches like this, and now again 2 double crochet stitches, 2 double crochet stitches, 1 double crochet stitch, and 7 treble crochet stitches. So like this, here in this next 2 loops I'll make 2 double crochet stitch each. Then here 1 double crochet stitch, and then in this next loop 7 treble crochet stitches. For that, yarn over 2 times, insert the hook, pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, then pull the yarn from last 2 loops. So make 7 of these treble crochet stitches here in the same loop. And now here my 7 treble crochet stitches are done, and now here at the end you should have 2 loops left here like this, and then you should have this slip stitch that we did. And now we are going to skip these 2 loops like we did at the start. And now here in this slip stitch where we did the slip stitch, here we are going to complete our round by making a slip stitch here. Like this. And then I'm just going to pull this loop from behind to get the smooth finish. Here, like this, and then chain one and then cut the yarn. And now here you can see this is how the heart looks here. And now we are going to take white color yarn to make granny square out of it. Now for that, insert your hook in this same loop here. Here you can see here like this, and then pull this white yarn and make a slip stitch here. Now we are going to start round 3. Now for that, make 3 chains here like this. And now while doing this round I am going to secure these loose ends also. Now here in this next loop I am going to make 1 double crochet stitch. Then in this next one, 1 half double crochet stitch. Now for half double crochet stitch, yarn over, insert your hook in this V loop, then pull the yarn. You have 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 3 loops at once. Then in this next one, 1 single crochet stitch, insert your hook below that V loop, then pull the yarn. You have 2 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through 2 loops like this. And then here we are going to do our corner stitch. Now for corner stitch make 2 double crochet stitches in this next loop. So because we need to make granny square from this heart shape, so for that we are going to do a sequence of stitches here. Now here make 2 chains and then 1 double crochet stitch in the same loop. So this will be our first corner of granny square, here like this. Then in next 3 loops I am going to make 1 half double crochet stitch each. The sequence is really simple. You need to do it for half of the part and then you just need to do the reverse sequence for the remaining half. Then 1 double crochet stitch each in next 2 loops. Then in this next loop 1 treble crochet stitch. It's difficult to write the sequence in one line, that's why I have written the sequence here as I am doing the stitches. And now here we are going to do the corner sequence. Now for that we are going to do first double treble crochet stitch. Now for that yarn over 3 times, here like this. Insert your hook in this loop, pull the yarn. Here you have 5 loops on the hook. Now pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, and then pull the yarn from last 2 loops. So this is called as double treble crochet stitch. Now after this chain 2. Now again make 1 double treble crochet stitch here. Now for that yarn over 3 times, insert your hook in the same loop, pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2 loops, and then pull the yarn from last 2 loops. Then make 1 treble crochet stitch here in the same loop. So for that yarn over 2 times, insert your hook in the loop, pull the yarn from first 2 loops, then pull the yarn from next 2, and then pull the yarn from last 2. So here you can see this is, here we got our second corner of the granny square. Now here we are going to do 1 double crochet stitch in the next loop, then 1 half double crochet stitch in this next loop, then 1 single crochet stitch in this next loop, and now here we have that knot from the last round. So here in this 2 loops, front 2 loops, I am going to insert the hook and make a slip stitch. So like this you can insert your hook. In both loops and make a slip stitch here. Here you can see, and now again we are going to do the same sequence in reverse order. So here in this next loop we'll make 1 single crochet stitch, then in next one 1 half double crochet stitch, then in this next one 1 double crochet stitch, and then here we are going to do the corner sequence. So for that make 1 treble crochet stitch first, then 1 double treble crochet, then chain 2, then again 1 double treble crochet. And now here we got our third corner. And now here we did 1 treble crochet, so like this we'll make 1 treble crochet here, and like this you can follow the reverse sequence and you can complete this round 3. So once you are here, then meet me back at the end. And now to complete round 3, make slip stitch on top of this chain. Here like this, and now this is how our project looks till now. And then we are going to do our last round, that is round 4. For that, chain 2, make 1 double crochet stitch in the same loop, then make 1 double crochet stitch each in each of these loops till you reach here at the corner. So 1 double crochet stitch in each of these V loops. So you will have total 5 double crochet stitches here till you reach your first corner. And now in this corner we are going to do our corner pattern, that is 2 double crochet stitch, then chain 2 and 2 double crochet stitch in the same loop. Then again make 1 double crochet stitch each till you reach here in this next loop here. So you will have total 8 double crochet stitches here in between. And now in this corner loop we are going to do the corner sequence like we did before, 2 double crochet stitches, 2 chains and 2 double crochet stitches in the same loop. And now like this we are going to continue with round 4, making 1 double crochet stitch between these corner loops, 1 double crochet stitch each, and the corner sequence will be 2 double crochet stitches, 2 chains and 2 double crochet stitches. So follow the sequence and complete your round 4 and then meet me back here at the end. And now here I have finished my stitches in round 4, and now to complete round 4 I am going to make a slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch. This chain 2 pattern I am going to skip that because we are not going to consider that in the stitch count. So on top of this double crochet stitch, first double crochet stitch, I am going to make 1 slip stitch here. Here like this, and then this is really a nice trick. If you want you can also try this. Here I am going to just pull this same loop from behind to make that loop invisible here like this, and then chain 1, and now you can cut the yarn. And now if you count the loops from both these sides, then the loops will be equal in number. So if you are doing some project with joining these granny squares together, then you should have equal loops on both these sides so that you can join it correctly. So that's why I did this little trick here. Otherwise if you do a normal slip stitch, then you get 1 extra V loop here. And now here you can see this is how our heart granny square looks. It's not actually a square, it's kind of a rectangle, but we call it granny square. So I hope you liked this video. If you like it, then please give a big thumbs up. Please share my channel with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you so much for watching the video. See you soon in the next one.